What's going on, everybody?
How's it going?
Everybody's good. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Well, it is us again.
Hello.
Hi, and we're here with another edition of Love Unscripted. We want to say,
Sponsored by. No, just kidding. Maybe one day. You never know.
oh my goodness. So this is my lovely wife, Ramona.
Hello.
My name is Wilbert. And we just want to say thank you once again for inviting us into your home, into your day, into your afternoon, whatever time you're watching our video, just to hear our perspective on things that we feel are very are impactful to a covenant marriage. So today's topic is I love you, but do I like you? Yeah.
As they say, let's spill the tea, or what do they say these days?
What?
I don't know. Like, let's give you the tea or whatever.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
She's more hip than I am.
I don't know about it these days.
Yeah, so, I love you, but do I like you? In my perspective, and my wife has her own perspective as well, I love you means that, I'm willing to bear everything that comes with you. That's in a nutshell. I like you means I bear everything when it comes to you as long as it suits me. So that's my perspective. So I think like is more superficial and love is more in depth, because I think that there are times where you really, you love your spouse. You love the one you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But there are times when you just, you may not like what they're doing, or you may not like what they just said, or you may not like what they just did. It's just one of those things where, like we said, I love you, but do I like you?
So apparently we have two different perspectives on this, according to my husband. But as you were saying that, I love your perspective. I do think our perspectives are very much alike. You said, I might not like what you did, or I might not like what you said. So does that necessarily mean I don't like you, but I'm just not fond? No, forget that. I just don't like what you said, because I wonder how important it is to separate the person's, or how possible is it to separate the person's actions from them when it comes to how you either like or love them.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that, because like, we've been married now, I cannot believe it, actually a year and a half and 2 weeks. And that time went by so quick. There were so many times, and I think if you've been married for a while, you could probably attest to this, or if you are newly married as well, you can attest to it, or somewhere in between, that there is such a learning curve in there. So many things that will happen that maybe you didn't get a chance to experience prior to you getting married, or just life didn't allow you to have that experience, and one day it comes up and like, whoa, I don't like that you said or that you did that. Now, do I not like you, or do I not like your actions? Because I can still love you, but this is what we do know, or this is what I know, that an action by your spouse can really just, it's not going to stop you from loving them. Like, what my husband does, if he does something I'm like not fond of or I don't like, it's not going to stop me from loving him. Nor, for me, is it going to stop me from liking him. But what are my actions towards him putting off to him?
And that's a good point.
Like, I might be so annoyed, and it might put off that energy as like, I don't like him, right? But it is that I don't like what you did, but in my mind, I know, oh, you still my A's. It doesn't matter. I still can't wait to see you when I get home. I can't wait to, cuddle with you, all of that good stuff. But what energy am I putting off to him? Am I giving him the I love you but I don't like you vibe? Is that what he could be potentially picking up?
That's so true. I think that love. They said love covers a multitude of sins. And like really is just in that moment, or when I've when I'm good with you.
Mm.
So I see that as love embraces the good and the bad. It embraces the flaws and the perfections. And so I think that like says when I'm ready for you, then then it's okay.
Oh.
When I have time for you, then it's okay. When I feel like speaking to you, then it's okay. But love says, I'm going to speak to you regardless. Like says, I'm going to make time for you. Love says, did I say it right? Love? Yeah. Love says, I'm going to make time for you. And love says, I'm going to do for you, and not really seek anything in return. That's love. So you ask yourself, are you doing things just because you want to get something in return? To me, that's like, that's superficial. That's on the surface. But love says, I'll do this in spite of. I'll love you regardless. I embrace you no matter what. I'm not easily taken out of character because of something you did or something you said, because there's a loving, compassionate part of you that says, you're the best thing in my life, no matter what. And so that's what I see about I love you or do I like you. And when it's just a like, you're more apt to want people to do for you, want them to always cater to you, cater to your time, cater to your conversation. And when they're talking, you kind of turn a deaf ear, or you don't give an open you don't give them an open mic to speak. You cut them off. That's like. Love says, I'll take everything, even in a stutter, even if it's not the correct enunciation. You are a part of who I am, and I want to be a part of you. Not in the fact of convenience, but in the fact of, even if it inconveniences me. That's love. I'm passing the ball now. But
no, I felt that, but I thought I was just, that's love.
yeah,
Yes,
and
that's
not like.
love.
Yeah.
So, okay, what do you see, if you don't mind me interviewing you for a second?
Uh-oh.
What place does like and love have in your marriage?
All right, that's a good question.
We know love is necessary, but from what I have heard, from people who've been married for a while, that you might not, like you might, how have I heard it? Like you might like them more than you love them. I've heard it that way before. Um, and so I just wonder, like, what place does there always have to be love? Does there always have to be like at every single turn in your marriage? Because if we're just if we're just honest with ourselves, we know we're human beings.
Good point.
And feelings, emotions, and stuff gets involved in or is involved in your marriage. And just to be truthful, like what space is there for love and like, and when one or the other is lacking, how does that impact your marriage? And then if there is an impact because maybe one or the other is lacking, how do you get back on track?
Hmm. Well, you know, the Bible also says, "He that he loves, he chastises." So if you love a person, you're gonna tell them the truth.
Mm.
You're gonna walk out the truth. You're gonna think the truth. You know, the Bible says anything that's pure, you know, love. I can't quote the whole scripture, but it's to think on these things. So whenever you're thinking about your spouse, you're thinking about these things and not just the negative. You're thinking about the love for your spouse and not just tolerating them.
And so, are you saying that in the that last part of the question I gave, this is how you get back on track? Is that what you're saying? So, okay, so thinking of those good times,
Yes.
thinking more on love versus on the situation of the thing that happened.
Thinking more future than present. Thinking more of a life partner than a moment partner.
Don't look at me like,
like that was good. You know that was good.
Said
you know that was good.
And I knew he was about to look at me. That's why I'm looking directly at you. A life partner versus a moment partner.
Yes.
Because when you think about having someone around you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Man, if I'm think about it this way, if I am going to give the rest of my life to you, if you hold that type of space in my life, then don't you deserve, maybe you deserve to have all the love and the light that's possible.
Right. And I think that, helping you stay in the moment of love is, being open and honest, speaking your mind, not to the point of where you are antagonizing or you're abusive or hurting or you're downing them constantly, that kind of thing. But you see beyond the moment. You see the future. You see what fabulous life you will grow in and have together. That's love. And like, to me, like is just, whatever they do, you'll just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Oh, okay. Just, and not really, to me, it's not, you don't find it important enough to speak to them in an honest tone. Hey, you shouldn't be, there, or shouldn't be going to those places, or shouldn't be doing those things, or you shouldn't be having those kind of conversations. It's not that you're critiquing them or criticizing them. You're doing it because you love them, because you want to see them better, because you want to see the best for you two. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I want to know what you mean by critiquing them and saying, and what place does it have in the love life? Like telling them you shouldn't go here, or you shouldn't do that. Like, what place does that have in the love or like in your marriage?
Well, to me, love is you don't want to see anyone in a situation that you potentially could see could be potentially dangerous for them.
Okay, so you're thinking more in the line of protecting the other person.
Correct.
Okay, and that's a way of showing love.
Right. It's okay. Let's break this down. So your kids, right? So you have children, and you have that wisdom for where they're going, what they're doing, how they're growing up, how they're acting, and you try to give them that wisdom, like, this is a part of life. This is something that you need to really consider. Learn manners, learn to be polite, learn to be obedient. You're giving them all of these things because you love them. Mm-hmm. Instead, those that just like them will just let them do whatever they like. I'll give you a prime example. Prime example was it yesterday? Oh no,
What's
Saturday. Saturday, we went to a furniture store, and this lady She was shopping, and her son was literally on this display, knocking all this furniture off this display that was literally, this furniture was almost 6 foot tall.
I would say 5.
5 foot tall, but literally sitting on it and knocking it, walking on it, nearly falling. People were looking at this boy as though
I know we were looking at
we were, and there was another customer there that was looking like, oh my God, he's about to fall. And literally, he sat on this couch and it slid like, close to being halfway off on the floor. One of the chairs just literally just flipped, and the mother just kind of looked back like, oh, he's okay. What? Do you like your son or do you love your son? And she just never said anything until like when she was getting ready to walk away. And he basically had dismantled those people's furniture display. So that's what I mean. If she really loved him.
Oh, okay. So, now this is where we get in the weeds. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
To me, if she really loved him, she'd stop him right there. That is dangerous. Hop down. Before something possibly could happen, potentially wrong. When other people are seeing that things are wrong and see how it could potentially, harm you, you should, those that say I love you, should say something.
Okay, but since we're talking about love versus like I love you, but do I like you? Just because that mother did not say anything to the child did not mean she did not love him.
That's a valid point.
Nor did it mean she did not like him. It could have been that she was incapable of rearing her child or disciplining him. Maybe it's an area that she struggles in. Maybe that was something that she didn't receive, so now she doesn't know how to give that to her child.
Ooh,
now,
wow.
Going back to marriages, that same thing can happen. The same thing can happen.
Wow.
Like, you put off that I don't like you, but it could be because that is an area that you struggle in. It could have something happened in your childhood. Now it's causing you to struggle. Now you're putting that energy off to your spouse because
you don't know how to show love.
Now you don't know how to show love.
Wow. Or the difference.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Because that little boy, one thing I knew, I from my experience in working with children,
man, right, I feel you now,
was that he was used to that. He was used to that type of, okay, I'm going to do this. You're not going to pay any attention to me. I'm going to continue to do this. And she was used to letting him do what he wanted to do. And so they had that type of relationship that you can tell was like, look, child, I love you because you're my child, but I have other things going on. And it was almost like this is how they function. This is how they function. Now, as an outsider looking in, could they function differently to make there's more love, more like for each other, or from the mother to the son? Absolutely. But in some fashion, this was something that you could tell was a history. So my point being that sometimes too, you do have to nip things in the bud, right? Because I feel like that situation may have gone on for so long, mm-hmm, that now he just knows that I can do whatever I want, and we can kind of ignore each other when it comes to how we should interact, right? And so I say the same thing could happen in a marriage. Like certain things come up, and let's say I made my husband feel like I did not like him. If he never brought it up to me, but this is how I'm used to interacting because this is what I know, this is the 10% of the 100% you think I should be able to give you. The communication, like we always talk about, communication should be there as well. I think that's a way to kind of alleviate having that I love you, but do I like you? Like, have that conversation. Yes, I do love you, babe. I can't wait to you, but this is what I experienced, and this is how I reacted, and this is why you feel this energy.
So keep in mind, when my wife talked about communication, it's definitely a good tool to have and apply and use at every opportunity.
Yeah.
Speak, speak, and speak. Listen, listen, and listen. You know, touch, tone, and what's the other one?
And touch, tone, and
Timing.
timing. I don't know why I want to say taste. I mean,
What? So just keep in mind, you're no longer two, but you're
you're
one.
one.
You're one. You know, our topic is, you know, I love you, but do I like you? Well, you want to be able to say to yourself, I love in spite of.
Or I like you in spite
Oh,
of.
yeah, I like you in spite of. I would say to the husbands and to the wives, see your spouse not in a superficial way, but in the way that God had designed them to be to you.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
See them
good.
in that way.
Yeah. Periods.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think there's anything else. I think you just spoke that into their lives. See your spouse the way God designed them for you.
For you.
Yeah.
For you. Do you still want to speak into the lives?
I just want to say, and when that happens, allow yourself to be open to the newness of whatever is going to come from that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And we say hope to you
Hope
all.
to you all.
Blessings to you all.
Blessings.
You're no longer two, but you are one.
Talking about that lady in her child.
Peace out, y'all. Till next time.